That morning began like any other day. The sunlight streamed through the kitchen window, and the smell of coffee lingered gently in the air. I stood still, looking out at the backyard where my wife had once planted flowers and where the kids used to play. The cardboard boxes piled up in the living room marked the memories of an entire life. The house remained as quiet as every other morning, but deep inside, I knew today wasn't like the usual days. Today we were leaving, for good. We had spent the whole week packing everything, from the old books, the teapot my mother left behind, to the children's toys that the little ones no longer used. Every item I touched carried a bit of memory. At times I stopped, just to stare at an old picture frame, as if trying to hold on to every moment that had passed. The living room was now empty. Only the marks on the wall where family photos had hung for years remained. The kitchen, where laughter used to echo and the sound of dishes clinking at every dinner, was now left in silence. I walked through each room for the last time. A strange feeling welled up inside. Sadness, relief, and nostalgia. It was like preparing to say goodbye to an old friend who had been with me all these years. Outside, the truck was already parked. The movers were chatting cheerfully, but in my heart, time seemed to slow down. I stood at the door, taking one last look. The old wooden door, the window frame where my daughter had once covered it with cartoon stickers, and the wall with pencil marks tracking the kid's height over the years. Everything was about to vanish from my sight. When the door closed with a soft click, it felt as though it touched deep inside me. We walked out to the car in silence. The only sound was the slow roll of the wheels on the familiar road, past the trees where we had once walked with the children every evening. I glanced in the rearview mirror. The house was slowly fading behind us, the small white house with the low porch that had welcomed us home every day. This time it wasn't welcoming us, but bidding us farewell. All we could do was move on, carrying with us what couldn't be packed into boxes: the memories. As the car turned the corner, I looked back one last time at the house that had been our home for so many years. Every wall, every corner of the yard carried an unforgettable memory. I remembered the first time my son rode his bike around the yard, the first time my daughter sang under the tree. Everything seemed old, but still full of meaning. The scratches on the walls, the old photos, they were all witnesses of the passing days. We weren't leaving alone. We were taking our past with us. We moved to a smaller, quieter house, but didn't feel any loss. From the window, I could see the nearby park where we would walk together every morning. Even though this was a new beginning, I felt that the memories would never fade. What had passed remained in our hearts, like a part of our lives. We hadn't just left the old house behind. We were also carrying with us a new journey, hope and peace. Whether it's a house or a phase in life, leaving always carries sadness, but it's also an opportunity to begin anew. We weren't just taking the old belongings with us, we were taking precious memories and lessons. Life never stops changing, and sometimes to move forward, we must know when to let go. If you've ever had to say goodbye to a familiar place, I understand how you feel. But as we've learned, every ending is the beginning of a new chapter.